So when I hear the story, the Jets are concerned that Le'Veon Bell added 35 pounds. I got to tell you, I've always been concerned about the athlete that weight fluctuates. That tells me about...
But you know what, though? Le'Veon Bell was really big in college. He was huge in college, 250, I believe. 265, I don't know. I think that might be a bit exaggerated. That might be.
Tell me a teammate you had who fluctuated in weight.
The running back, Rudy Johnson, he fluctuated in weight. Corey Dillon would fluctuate in weight. And so...
And they were both good.
They're both pretty damn good. It's one of those things where as long as you can gain weight, as long as it's not sloppy weight and fat and you don't look good. You want to look good. He didn't play football the whole season. I'm not too much worried about it. As long as when it's time to take a physical, if you're not over 240, 245, I'm fine with it.
All right. So I heard you, I was saying this earlier. I know people that played with Peyton Manning. He would yell at you. I know I've talked to people who played with Troy Aikman. He would yell at you. Big Ben yelling at AB doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when Aaron Rodgers and Big Ben are passive-aggressive. I like my quarterbacks to be aggressive. I like when Brady yells at teammates. I like when Aikman did. I know Peyton Manning. I know Jeff Saturday. He's like, Peyton and I got into arguing. What I don't like is passive-aggressive. So when I look at Big Ben and AB, Antonio Brown literally pouted because he didn't win the team MVP award and they decided to sit him. That seems like an issue that's like childish. I want Big Ben to be a screamer. What I don't want him to be is passive-aggressive.
Now, number one, we really disagree on this, and I'll tell you why.
All right.
Peyton Manning is looked at as a leader. Tom Brady is looked at as a leader. Drew Brees is looked at as a leader. Ben Roethlisberger is not looked at as a leader in the locker room. So when you yell at me, the guys are like, bruh, you need to chill out. We don't see you as a leader. A lead, like the general manager, it's asinine for him to come out and say that because you can't appoint somebody a leader. You know what a leader is? Somebody that others are willing to follow. You can't make somebody a leader. If the guys in that locker room don't see Ben Roethlisberger as a leader, which they do not,
how do you know
can't appoint him as a leader.
You've been on the field with him.
I don't. When you say Peyton Manning and Tom Brady yells at guys, it's in the heat of the moment. It's in battle. Ben Roethlisberger, he criticizes you after we've calmed down in a radio interview. He's not yelling at me over the course of a game, which I could take. I've been yelled at, and I've yelled at quarterbacks over a course of the back and forth. Once the game's over with, it's not a big deal because it's the emotion of the game. Don't do it in a radio interview when everything is calmed down. It's really no emotion tied to it.
If you were a member of the Steelers receiving corps and you read what their GM said, Kevin Colbert, which is, he's got 52 kids under him, what was your interpretation?
I would laugh. I'm not Roethlisberger's kid. I have kids of my own. Like, I know I'm not under you, Ben, because we don't see him that way. He's not, and I'm obviously this speculation. I don't believe the Steelers locker room looks at Ben Roethlisberger as an unquestioned leader. Like, to me, why didn't he say Mike Tomlin? And they've been winning and having success despite all of this. They know 2009, 2010, we're not going to get into the transgressions that Roethlisberger's had with women.
Yeah.
When you have those type, like, people don't view you as a leader and because he's a quarterback, he's supposed to be the leader. It just can't be. And so I completely disagreed with that. And the guys in the locker room, they know. They don't see him that way.
So Odell Beckham got really mad at our Doug Gottlieb because Doug Gottlieb, do we have the piece of tape of that? Doug Gottlieb went on First Things First this week. He's co-hosting because Nick and Chris Carter are out. And so Gottlieb was talking about Odell Beckham. It was a pretty heated exchange. And basically he said, he's not about winning. He's about Odell Beckham. And then Odell Beckham went to Twitter and was all worked up and he was furious about it. And here's where I defend Odell Beckham. The Giants in the last 2 years have lost more games than everybody not named the Cleveland Browns. In the last decade, the Giants are the third worst team. They've had 3 coaches in 4 years. Is that this is a completely dysfunctional organization, and it's quite possible that Odell Beckham, I consider myself one of these people, needs to work with a good, strong organization. I don't like chaos in my life. I don't deal well with dysfunction. And it's possible. I didn't hear about Odell Beckham at LSU being a problem. I didn't hear him with Tom Coughlin being a problem. He's been a little bit of a headache since this organization circled a toilet bowl. And so my takeaway is Odell just needs a better environment.
He wants to win. Once he's established himself as he's pretty much a global superstar in the NFL, and you rarely see that. It's probably him and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I would guess those are the only three in the league.
I don't even know if Aaron's global. Brady is and Odell is.
And so now that he's established himself, he wants to win. The Giants have had zero success since he's been in the NFL, and the dysfunction is failure. That's what it is. We have failed to win. I'm frustrated. I want to win. It's as simple as that. That's how I see it. If they win, none of this comes out.
But do you ever have a teammate that was a different guy winning and losing? You're a pretty consistent guy, but
a lot of guys are different when you win or lose. It's whether you show that. It's whether you can compress and keep those feelings inside and not try to change, because if you can accept winning, you got to be able to handle failure. And so there's guys that are like that. And he's in New York. You can't. I don't mind him going back at Doug because he's a human being. Like, dude, we got feelings. We're athletes, but we're humans as well. If you say something negative about me, I only can take so much.
Yeah. By the way, when you were playing, you didn't have all these debate shows, not to the level you do now.
Right.
Did you ever get ripped on the air and it bother you?
I remember one time, and I'll never forget, I didn't see it. We were on the plane. Trent Dilfer said something negative about me, and I did not see it, and somebody sent it to me. I didn't know Trent Dilfer. And I don't know if I sent him a text message, I got his number from somebody, or I called him. But we had a conversation about it. And I didn't see what was said. I just went off of what I was told. And it was something about me being a bad teammate. And I'm like, I've gone at coaches, but I've never had a problem with one teammate I've ever played with. And so, yeah, with Trent Dilfer years ago, he probably remembers it too.
But you called him and got after him.
I wouldn't. We had a conversation. I'm like, where'd this come from? It was a good conversation, and anybody knows Trent Dilfer is not a punk, and so
right.
It was a good grown man conversation.
I've had two. I don't mean to. I'm throwing this out there. I had a NBA coach call me a week ago. I was in the middle of dinner, and I said, "I'll call you back." He was great about it. He's like, "Man, you know what he told me?" He goes, "Your information is bad."
Really?
And I said, "Why is it bad? This is what I hear." And he said, No. I'm all good with this guy. It was a star player. And he's like, "I'm all good with this guy." He goes, "Don't." And I said, "Okay, how come blank, blank, blank?" And he said, "Well, that's just a bunch of media crap." He goes, "I'm good with him."
Do you respect that?
Oh, totally. We were great. And
okay.
By the way, I said, he goes, "I don't watch these shows." He goes, "But my friends do." And my friend said last couple of days, "Hey, Cowherd's ripping you." And I didn't really rip him. I put his name out there with something, and he was very good about it. I always respect when guys call me. Now, I did have one NBA coach threaten me.
Taking it too far, man. Taking it a little too far.
I was just a little over. He got really mad at me.
It's okay.
But that's okay. I always
that's
call
your
back.
job. It happens.
By the way, I put Baker Mayfield on the couch. I don't mind getting yelled at.
It happens. You got to have thick skin. You can't be thin skinned. You're a professional athlete. We're lucky to be in a position we're in. If you don't like it, just quit and go work another job, and nobody will know who you are.
TJ Houshmandzadeh, good stuff, buddy. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.